All right, so next up is looking at what's called standard form of a single variable polynomial expression. Okay, now we've looked at standard form of linear equations. We've looked at standard form of absolute value functions. Now let's take a look at standard form of a polynomial. Okay, now this is going to look very intimidating at first. A sub n, these are your coefficients, okay? They're any real numbers. They could be whole numbers, they could be decimals, fractions, positives, negatives, they could be square roots, they could be the number pi, they could be any real number, okay? And they're those little subscripts, the n minus 1, the 2, the 1, that's just saying that they could potentially all be different numbers, okay? And then you've got your actual variable to an exponent, okay? And the exponents go down. The most important thing to get something in standard form is to have the highest exponent at the beginning and then go down by degrees, okay? So these two polynomial expressions, they're out of order. So we need to rewrite them in standard form. So looking at a, I've got an a cubed, an a to the 6th, an a to the 8th, and then a constant, which we know is a to the 0. Constants will always go at the end because they are a to the 0. So the highest exponent that I see is the a to the 8th. So that term goes first. So I use that one. The next highest exponent is the positive 7a to the 6th. Then I have the plus 5a cubed. And then the constant always stays at the end. So that's the standard form there, okay? And the degree of this polynomial, which we said before, we can now easily identify that the degree is in fact 8, all right? There's a special name for this coefficient. This is called the leading coefficient, which will be more important when we get into graphing these down the road. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Leading coefficient. All right, so the leading coefficient is the coefficient out in front of that first or leading term once you get it into standard form. So take a second, rearrange b. So to rearrange b, the highest exponent is the negative 9x to the 9th, followed by the positive x to the 7th, and ending with the 16x to the 5th. And the degree there, oops, I can spell. The degree there is 9 from this exponent. The leading coefficient, I'm going to abbreviate that LC. The leading coefficient is the negative 9 out in front. This is your leading coefficient. Okay? So that's writing it in standard form. Now what we have coming up next is we're going to do different polynomial operations, and we're always going to write our answer in standard form. So that's what's coming up in the next video.